So some of the common mistakes that people are making is they're doing exercises like squeezing their shoulder blades together, which through here is going to push this further forward and enhance that flatness, and then coupled with what we already have going on the front and the head forward, that's actually going to make things a little bit worse than better. My name is Greg Chaplin. I'm a physical therapist and strength conditioning specialist, and in this video I'm going to talk all about text neck and the common mistakes that people are making when they're trying to fix this issue. Then I'm going to go through what's actually going on with the text neck and how we fix that. And if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So what is text neck? So a lot of us, we're working on our phones or laptop, and so we're bringing our head down and forward, and we get this little hump at the top of our upper back and the bottom of our neck that looks like this, and we call this text neck or tech neck. And a lot of people are trying to fix this with various corrective exercises, but running into a lot of issues because a lot of the recommendations about what to do are not quite correct, and I think this is because we don't really understand exactly what's going on here. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on positionally with a tech or text neck, and then we'll get into solutions of how to fix this. So like we said, we have the upper back curving forward like this, and below the level of the upper back, we're gonna see a pretty flat appearance of this mid back like this, and then on the front side we're going to see a sternum that's pulled down. So we have a flat mid back here, we have that enhanced curve at the top, and then we have this sternum that's pulled down, and then the head's going to be somewhere over here forward. And so the main issue we have right off the bat is a center of mass problem. So we have the head coming forward over the body, and we have this flatness here on the back, which indicates that we're actually using somewhat of a compressive strategy here in the area between the shoulder blades and then in that lower rib cage area. And so what that compression does on this backside is it enhances that push forward and gets that center of mass even further forward. Now, once we have that push from the back happening and the head comes this way, we get the sternum coming down with it, and then we get leverage of all these muscles on the front to further pull us down, and that's when we get that appearance of that kind of falling off the cliff of this upper back. So some of the common mistakes that people are making is they're doing exercises like squeezing their shoulder blades together, which through here is going to push this further forward and enhance that flatness, and then coupled with what we already have going on the front and the head forward, that's actually going to make things a little bit worse than better. And another mistake people are doing is at the level of the lower rib cage, instead of learning how to bring what's above the lower rib cage back, what they do is they actually just take this and they shove it under. And so what ends up happening is it's almost like they're covering up this issue rather than fixing it. So you have this kind of a situation going on first, and then what they do is they arch up here, and it's like, oh, hey, it's all good. I don't have this anymore. Well, it turns out you didn't actually move this at all. Your sternum's still down, but because you've arched here, you've made it look like it isn't. So watch my head and my upper body here. I'm going to just adjust this. I'm not going to move anything else. If I put this into a position where I'm not arching here, see how everything comes back down, heads forward, and I have this curve going in the upper back. So right off the bat, our first order of business is to get the center of mass back, and in order to do that, we need to be able to achieve that good ability to expand in through the back. Okay, so we're going to go through this one exercise here to first get that expansion through the back, and then we'll talk about the additional steps we need to get the front to come up after that, and those two things in combination are going to fix this text or text neck. So for this first exercise, you're going to need a table and a band like this. So you're going to make a little loop with your band. You're going to set up with your hands like this inside the band, and your elbows are going to be resting here on that table. You're going to pull out against that band. Now what that's going to do is it's going to engage some of the shoulder muscles here, and it's going to actually cause the shoulder blades to kind of wrap around, which is going to create a space to be able to lean back through. So you're going to think about leaning your upper back through your shoulder blades. So to set up, you're going to shrug, unshrug so your shoulders are down. You're going to move your elbows a little bit further forward, pull against the band, and then you're going to try to lean back and get your center of mass back through that upper back region. You're going to get a stretch through the shoulder blades. Here, you're just going to do some easy breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you take that breath in through the nose, you should feel that space between your upper back get a little bit bigger, and you should be able to feel that your entire body moves back a little bit. And you're going to go really gentle and easy with this because we don't want to turn this into arching back like we talked about that mistake. We actually just want to get a nice easy expansion through the breath alone. So it's going to look like this. We're in the position, pull out against the band, reach forward with the elbows, lean back with the entire body as a unit, and then we take our breath in. Feel a little stretch in between the shoulder blades, and we do an easy exhale. Do a couple of breaths here. Now, a couple of mistakes people make with this activity is they either let the shoulders shrug up and over or they dip the sternum down. So remember, we're trying to keep that sternum up because it's already in a down position. So whatever position it's in, you don't want to tuck it in further. You don't want to turn it into this kind of a thing. You just want to lean back as a unit. Okay, so once we achieve that ability to expand that upper back region to get the center of mass back, then we're going to go after getting that sternum and that front of the rib cage to expand and come up so that this isn't pulling us down in the front. So with this exercise, we're going to take that same strategy from that previous exercise to get that upper back region to stay open, but then we're going to go into an inverted position so the upper body is lower than the hips, and this is going to create a little bit of a gradient so that all the internal pressures and fluids are going to move down in this case, which is going to move up towards the upper rib cage, going to help expand that upper rib cage down towards the table. So that's going to look like this. So we get the butt up so that the butt's over the upper body. We're going to pull out against that band. We're going to reach down into the table with the elbows so that we're lifting everything again as a unit up between those shoulder blades. We're going to feel a little bit of a stretch between those shoulder blades again. Maybe not as much as with the other activity, but you'll feel a little bit of a stretch there. Then in this position, you're going to get that head lifted just a tad bit so the chin comes up, and then we're going to do easy breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you take that breath in through the nose, you should feel like that upper chest expands a little bit forward while you're still maintaining the expansion between the shoulder blades. And then you're going to exhale nice and easy. Hopefully you'll feel the kind of the stomach come in a very gentle way, and then we're going to do a series of those. So we're going to rock with those two exercises again, first to get the center of mass back, to be able to expand between those shoulder blades. Then we're going to bring that sternum up. And now one additional thing you want to think about throughout the day. So just because you do these exercises doesn't mean that this is necessarily going to stick. So we need to avoid any tendency to pull the head down and forward. So you're going to be careful about that seated position. But again, you're not exaggerating that arch in the back at all or squeezing of the shoulder blades, because that's just going to push you forward. What you want to do is you want to get that expansion, and then you want to make sure you're not overusing these abdominal muscles to pull the sternum down. Okay, so we've talked about that in another video. You can go to the forward head abdominal training mistake video and watch more about that. And then the other thing you want to be careful of is your resting tongue posture, because actually the muscles of the tongue attach via this hyoid bone to the top of the sternum and can create a compressive element on the sternum there as well. So you want to keep your tongue resting up in the roof of your mouth, and not just the tip behind the teeth, but the whole tongue up into the palate. And I got a couple of videos on that. But if you're trying to figure that one out, you do a swallow. As you swallow, there's a point where that whole tongue should come up into the roof of the mouth. You're going to try to pause there, breathe through the nose. So try to use that as a position at least somewhat throughout the day and get used to that as well. So those things in combination, again, get the upper back and lower part of the rib cage to expand so you can get your weight back, then get that sternum to come up, get this out of the way so you're not using too much center abs, and get this out of the way so you're not using too much of those swallowing and speech muscles to compress the sternum. So hope that works for you. Make sure if you like this video, you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.